Welcome back, BSers. This is Belonging Songs, your weekly podcast that brings you a brand new original song each episode and then talks about the themes of that song and the processes that go into writing and recording it. I am your host, Wade Dana. With me, as always, my good friends, Brad Maurer.
Hello.
Dr. Patrick Crane.
Hey again.
How are you guys?
I'm good.
Real good.
Cool.
Real good.
Cool.
How are you, host?
I'm doing all right.
Good?
Doing well.
You
Doing
holding
well.
up?
What are you been up to? Anything
Yeah.
good?
What have I been up to? Nothing.
Shit.
Cool. This is gonna be
you tiled a shower.
Tiled the
recently.
shower. Last night I was up late getting set up for you guys to come over here. I'm glad to have you back.
It's a nice looking bathroom.
Thank you.
I'll shit in it.
Already did.
This week we have a song by Brad. It's been a few weeks since we visited one of his tunes.
Since we bashed Brad's song. Right?
It's been a few weeks since we sent him back to the drawing board.
And I think we've established on Brad's last episode that for his songs, since I'm the one doing the mixing of the songs, he's going to bring us a demo. We're going to talk about it. And then at the end of the episode, I will have gotten a hold of it. A couple weeks will have passed by. I will have mixed it if it's to the point where, it's ready for a mix. If not, we'll send Brad packing to work on it
Right.
some more.
Yeah. So it's not a is it done?
Yeah.
It's a is it Wade ready?
Yeah. This gets us to this segment. What's Brad packing?
That's right.
And then the fun part of that is like on the follow-up, you can also critique my work. So
This is another one that's been on my hard drive, shall we say, for what? Since almost, it's gotta be close to 10 years, 8 years maybe.
yeah, full disclosure, I have heard this song.
A lot, right?
I've played on it.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, Brad, because I don't think we've talked about this. So you've got mountains of work, which we've talked about. How are you picking these songs out? Are these just in the back of your head?
It's these are the ones that I like the most.
Okay.
Yeah, the ones that I listen, I still would go back and listen to.
Okay.
But I don't think they're nothing's ever done.
So for the listener, for BSers, we're bringing you new songs that nobody else is here. Even though this song's been out there for a long time, like in Brad's
It's
computer,
never been
nobody's
released.
really heard
Yeah,
it except, I have.
I
But
don't even know if my wife's heard it.
Well, if it's in your computer, no one knows how to get it out.
No, and if it doesn't make it out of there, the chances are it might not exist in a year.
Yeah, that's like the Hellraiser box.
if the listeners have not figured out yet, Brad and computers are like oil and water. So
Let's get technical. No, not get technical.
we
Did
might
you try unplugging it and plugging it back in?
we might have a whole new podcast that just is Brad trying to work a computer
Right.
or our
It's
YouTube channel or something.
Wade, where did it go? It was just fucking here.
So this song is called "We've Got to Keep This Thing Ticking."
Yep.
Ticking.
We got to keep this thing ticking.
Yeah,
Okay.
the INGs explicitly
I like
defined.
a good solid articulation.
Yeah,
of the G.
that's good.
All right, well, let's give it a listen.
I've rummaged through the dirt, found old shit mixed with golden shards. You're always gonna get that, no matter which geographical part. And when you stare at the stars, there always seems to be a brightest one, but it's the same as the others. It's just right in front of your eyes. I won't let it hold me back. I won't let it distract me from anything. I won't lose momentum. We've gotta keep this thing ticking. Heard a lot of words. They all make sense, but they have no heart. You never really notice until some come along I won't lose momentum. We've gotta keep this thing ticking.
Give it to me straight, fuckers.
It's a good song.
You like it?
Yeah.
So I really love how this song just bubbles away.
Yeah.
The entire
Yeah.
time, like that. The drum. I know it's just a little like drum beat out of the what is the
BR8.
BR8.
Boss BR8.
But like
Or no, DR5, sorry.
it really like captures the theme of the song.
Yep.
Like, it just kind of bubbles away, and I love all the little background stuff going on. Yeah, I mean, this is a song I'm very familiar with, and it's one of my favorite to play. We've played this live before. It's just got a nice, steady
Yeah, it's pleasant.
tempo.
Well,
Like,
very
it's
pleasant.
it's literally it was the tricky part was recording it. It's 3 chords. If I was to bring in a guitar in here and play it, you'd be like, "Oh my god, it's 3 chords." And it's the same 3 chords for the whole thing. So it was like you've alluded to it in past episodes. It was about what can I take away from it, and
Yep.
how can I just get the guitar out of it a little bit. And that's what I spent the most time doing.
and I did not notice that, or I never thought that this song's like too simple.
No, not at all.
Like, I like that about it. Like, there is a lot going on in the background. There's a lot of those little noises and things.
That's why they have to be there. I
But
think
it
just
I don't know. It's like the little engine that could. It keeps chugging along. And I love at the end how it just refuses to stop.
No, it's great.
Like the theme of the song, like
The song.
gotta keep ticking.
yeah, it really captures that. It's cool.
The song ends exactly how I want it to end. It's sugary sweet, and I want some more.
And I've actually, because of my aforementioned technical abilities, this song, the way every track, I can't ever go back and change it.
They're gone.
It's in the world of garbage that I've created.
So I've
this
noticed
song.
this week we've got a stereo track. The first track you brought was a mono one that you couldn't get back.
I don't
so
know how all this shit works.
we've
Wade.
stepped up into the world of stereo here.
So, but I've since re-recorded it. Like I've spent a lot of time, and like I would have Pro Tools open and iTunes playing this song, and I spent a lot of time going back and recreating. I would say 80% of it is really easy. The other 20 has been really hard.
Just to be clear for the listeners, the version we just listened to is your old version, MP3. It's gone.
Yep.
So right now, Brad's working on re-recording
it.
that
Yep.
to bring to the table to be mixed.
And
so we
trying
can
to find
revisit it.
all of the ambient sounds. I have the same keyboard. I have all of the same implements and the things I can to do it.
yeah, once that shit's gone.
Landing there is hard. Like
Yeah.
it took me. I spent like 2 hours the other day just trying to find the little that goes on right before the keep yourself.
It's almost
ticking.
like a
It's
little
a-
dinner bell, or
Yeah.
like a tinker bell.
It was just something I had, and I think I might have twisted a knob or something. I'm like, God damn it! Good
luck
so
with that.
yeah, so trying to recreate it's really hard. So I don't know how we're gonna overcome that. I don't know what exactly the final product's gonna end up being.
Yeah,
yet.
which is cool because we'll get to kind of see the way you approach it. So, Patrick, knowing that Brad is working on re-recording this right now, do you have any notes for him as far as structure or things that he might want to take into mind as he does
That's
that?
the part where I ruin his life.
Mm-hmm.
So here's my notes. Your lyrics, and when you stare at the stars, there's always seem to be the brightest one. Your timing's a skosh off.
Where?
First verse.
Page 7, paragraph
Page 7,
3.
right about there.
And when you stare at the stars.
Yeah, you got out of time a little bit.
Okay, I'll check that.
I don't think it's terrible,
Okay.
but just a little bit if you're
check that.
re-recording it.
Brad, can you tell us what this song is about? I mean, for me, sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
When I ask you a question.
I don't.
But I would like to maybe see if I hit what you were aiming for. The part that really ties it together for me is just when you thought you were the brightest one, you're just the same as the others. But then, the end of the song saying, I won't let that hold me back. To me, that's like the main theme of the song. Mm-hmm. Is that kind of your target?
It is, yeah. It's hard for me to articulate, I think, what it's about. this is something that I scribbled lyrics down real quick, and actually I think it was one of those, you know how when you're writing a song, sometimes like I was playing those 3 chords and I just started singing, and whatever words came I wrote down, and then later on I had to kind of find meaning and change things and rearrange
To
them.
me, it's kind of like a reality check on people. Like,
That's basically what it is. Is just it's a lot about the first verse is about like.
you take the good, you take the bad.
It's how if we're feeling something like however I'm feeling here, packing up and moving and going somewhere else probably isn't going to change that too much because
Okay.
I'm still going to be there. You know, so like I've rummaged through the dirt and found old shit mixed with golden shards. Means yeah, it's good, it's bad, exactly like you said.
They found
Facts
a button on Oak Island.
It's the facts of life, but you're always going to get that no matter which geographical part.
Yeah.
Means that, you know, I could
matter-
take myself and I could move to Alaska and I still have me in Alaska.
We're all stuck in our
I'm
heads.
still thinking about I'm still going to treat myself the same as I would here.
Treat yourself.
That's interesting. I interpreted this song totally differently.
That's good.
Treat yourself.
Sorry to ruin that for you, big guy.
Oh no, that's fine. I'm gonna go home now. Again, as this podcast goes on, we're gonna learn I don't know anything.
Well, and you're a dick.
Yeah, right. No, I interpreted this as like holding on to a love you know isn't gonna work, but you just keep going with it because it's easy.
Now, do you mean like platonic love?
Like a girl or
Like a
just
girl.
anything?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like just not ending a relationship.
Yeah, like we're fine, and it's just easier to stay together.
Oh. No, it's not actually. Like it's just about
Brad's been staying the night over here. Quit it. Just kidding.
no, not really.
We can fix this in post.
And I
Brad.
did for the reference of laughter. I did marry my high school sweetheart. So we've been ticking
Yeah. For what? 20 years?
20 some years. But it's more about just like you not giving up. Like you just can't stop. You just got to keep this thing ticking. You don't want to lose momentum. You just got to keep building on what you've done
In
And
life
just-
in general?
And just life in general. Yeah,
Okay.
it's just more about just getting after it.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Did you take anything away lyrically, Wade? I know you've heard it a ton.
Yeah, well, like I said, I like how that last part of the verse ties to the main theme of the song. And I really liked the line about the words, that they all make sense but have no heart until, you know, somebody tells it to you straight.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
you know, sometimes words can hurt. And
Patrick's good for
Yeah.
being sharp as a dart.
Let me talk about what I think this song's about.
Yeah.
Have you re-recorded the solo yet?
I did.
So it's another case of less, not more. Try taking, if you want to, try taking the keyboard, the 2-note loop that goes on. Try taking that out during the solo because I think it'll punch the solo through. Or
hey, you're talking mixing here, man. That comes to me.
Get out of my... Because I like to give this guy 52 cards and he gives me back a euchre deck.
So wait, when you're mixing this, drop out that piano or that keyboard loop, and then I think that will make the solo punch through a little
Yeah.
bit.
I did have a note about the solo, too. I think that it kind of almost falls apart at the end-ish in
Okay.
this
And-
version. Like, it could maybe just use a little work.
And I think it'd be interesting too if you did a different simple keyboard part during the solo and then bridge back into the loop you started with. I think that could be really interesting too.
I could play around with that. Because I did... the biggest thing I like about it is it's 2 guitars.
Yep.
Like, I don't know if you noticed, like,
Oh, okay.
there's another guitar in the background of it. And I like doing that a lot when I solo, when it's not, you know, you're not doing like a ripping fast solo.
Yeah.
I like having layers of guitars
Give
kind
it
of
a
on top of one
floaty
another.
feel.
Yeah, which is really, really fun and kind of pan them differently. I've done that a lot. And I like doing that, and I liked it in this song, so I duplicated that. But what's behind it is probably what needs to be changed, which is what you're saying. And,
Right.
And I don't remember what I did at home. I'd have to listen to it.
They might be fighting each other.
They
a little
probably
bit, yeah.
are, and
Yeah.
and
That's-
Wade's really good at bringing the highlighter in and
Yeah.
actually accenting and I guess unaccenting other stuff.
Also, I
Whatever
can't
that
believe
word
I'm
is.
saying something nice to you, but the harmonies at the end of the song are really nice.
Vocal harmonies.
Vocal harmonies.
okay.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
something I get stuck in a rut on, because if you keep listening to my songs, you'll figure out that it's usually I'm singing with myself, and then next thing you know, at the end of the song, it's the higher register me. I
So,
do that almost
I like a
too
good
much.
self-harmony.
I do it almost too much though. Like at the end,
Like it's your trope?
It's the way I end. Okay, well, here comes my third verse. Let's get the high guy in there.
Dude, do you touch your headphones?
Oh yeah.
Let's talk about that a little bit, and let's get technical. So Brad, you mentioned recording those harmonies. I know you and I go about that differently because I've seen your process, and I always really like the way your harmonies sound. So I know you just touched on it a bit, but can you tell us and the listeners like how many vocals you do and in what registers you do them to construct these harmonies? Because I do really think that's a highlight of your work.
Standard practice, if I'm setting up vocal tracks, standard practice is for me to set up 3, and I will title one low, mid, and high, and that's how I sing them. So like I'll have one, like usually when I'm recording the song through, I'll just have like kind of like this voice that I'm speaking in. I'll sing it in that kind of register all the way through, and then I'll come in and I'll try to add kind of just a little more breath and a little bit higher, like more of my just above where I'm at, and then I try to get one that is almost a falsetto.
You know what I would really like for you to try out, maybe even on this song, is do that exact same thing, but do like 3 or 4 versions of every one of those.
Okay, like several mids, several highs.
Yeah,
'Cause
especially on the choruses. Like,
because the vocal, it's hard to talk about yourself like that, but the vocal tone of that last verse, the high part, is kind of where I routinely go if I'm want to give it some jab, right? So like I wouldn't call that the high. I would probably that's probably on my mid track, and then high is the the falsetto part,
yeah, I would like you
which
to
is usually
like,
in there.
set up, instead of 3 tracks, pull up 9. Do
Okay.
3 exactly the same as your regular.
keep doing that?
3 high ones.
Okay.
And 3 low ones, and I think that would add a nice weight to those harmonies.
Because I mean, the part is I don't want it to sound too symphonic. I don't want it to sound too huge. So I try to keep it simple and just bring some difference to
Right.
it. I'll never duplicate the same vocal twice. I always
Which is
sing
funny
it.
because the way I do background vocals in vocals is duplicate the one thing.
Yeah.
Like mine are always all, like if I'm doing high vocals, I'll just do 4 high vocals. And I really like the differentiation.
Yeah.
That's the
a
word.
word. Yeah, spell it.
That Brad gets with his 3 different versions.
And that's always been like, even when I had that, well, actually is the BR8, the thing I recorded on, I did it that way.
So actually, forget everything I said. I'll just start doing what you do.
No,
On
well,
mine.
if you record like I record and I mix like you mix, gold fucking records.
Right.
No, I'm just kidding. But I appreciate that feedback. Like, that's fun to talk about. That part's fun to talk about because you only know what you know. And I just noticed after a while, like I started doing the same thing. So like once I get the main vocal in, I'm like, all right, let's see if I can change it up a little bit and I'll sing it a different way. And then a lot of times the high one might even be empty. Like I don't do a whole lot of falsetto if I can help it. So, because otherwise you can get too much of that.
Right.
Talk to Bono.
Yeah. Bon Iver.
The
Bon Iver.
Bon
Bon Scott.
It's Bon Iver, yes, but it's the Bon Iver.
Yeah.
Bon Iver.
Yeah.
So Brad, what's your plan for like the drums on this? Do you want to put real drums to this?
You just sounded like a high school counselor. So, Brad, what are your plans?
Turns out I don't have any plans. I'm going to smoke doobies, ride Camaros,
So
work
I've
on my
noticed
bike.
work on my bike.
I've noticed you were taking 3 different PE classes this semester.
I noticed you're an aide for Jim also. Are you college bound, sir? Actually, ossifer. No, what was the question?
As you
Drums.
re-record this, are
Drums.
you changing a lot? Yeah, I asked about drums, but are you?
I've been looking, like I did, I got the Addictive Drummer. I was
Okay.
looking. We talked about it a little bit though. Like I've heard it the same way so long. I don't think I'll add drums to it.
Okay.
Feel
I
free
really
to,
love.
Feel free to do it, and all that was on there. It's literally a kick drum, hi hat, snare, and a clap with every snare.
I think anything you do, like I don't see anything wrong with experimenting with real drums or new
Yeah.
drum beats, but I would love to get a hold of this when I mix it with that
Okay.
bass still there.
It's on
'cause
there.
It just works on that.
Yeah.
The song works.
Yeah. Do you think the drums need to change anywhere? Like as far as it's literally the same beat.
I mean, I always do like to get a little bump up in the chorus areas. Just
I think I'd hate for the rhythm section to get too nuts because that 2-note piano loop is what drives the song.
Yeah, the boom boom.
Yeah, and so if you start putting a complex, like syncopated drum beat
yeah,
over
I
it,
don't think the beat needs to
Yeah,
change. I mean,
don't-
maybe an element gets added or even taken away. I don't know.
I was more referring to when we used to play. We played it live a few times, and this song. Remember when we did that? The first chorus, it essentially dropped out,
Did we?
and I had like when we were playing it live, I did a tremolo guitar, and it would just be like at a quick pace, and I would just hit one note, sing the line, hit another chord, sing the line, and then the drums would come back in. And I was wondering like if that is something that might be better with the recorded version instead of a straight, over and over, because it doesn't really have any dynamic other than everything
Right.
else. Everything else stops.
It also doesn't have my sick bass line.
No, which can be included.
Which I do hear in my head when I listen to it because it
Well,
was
and that's
my part
yeah,
of the song
and the
when we played
same
live.
thing. Like, but it was almost two songs.
Yeah.
Like we had the live version, which was a whole nother thing. So I was wondering if maybe, like, do you Wade think that I should blend the two together in a new recording? And this is a demo. Demos can be an outline, or do you think this is recorded well enough?
I think
to match?
you just keep in mind that live version, and if there are parts that you really liked in that, maybe combine them. But I wouldn't say it needs to be one way or the other. I think it just whatever lends to it being the best version of itself.
This song I've always
As a recorded version.
envisioned it as simple.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
'cause
needs
like
to be.
playing live is a totally different
Yeah.
beast. Like it was always a little hyped.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like what you got going here.
Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead, Patrick.
I was gonna say some bullshit. You could release a EP and have 5 remixes like
Right.
every hip hop single,
Maybe I could get Taylor Swift
Yeah.
to do it.
and then have Ryan Adams cover.
So we will show examples of what Brad was just talking about. We recorded an album with our band called Skeleton Luns, and what that project was my solo work and Brad's solo work, just in a live band form. So we really didn't write any new songs for that. Maybe two,
Yeah,
three.
2 or 3. Yeah.
So there's a lot of examples that maybe we'll touch on as we go forward as bonus songs or whatever of like different versions of the same song.
Yeah, there's some songs that we have that have been recorded possibly even 3 different ways.
Yeah, and that'll be fun to
Yeah.
maybe highlight on an episode or something. So, all right. Well, Brad is going to continue working on this, taking in mind our, I don't know, useless feedback.
No, it's good feedback. But I'll
sure?
I'll probably just, unfortunately it's belaboring to you, but I'll probably just stick a lot of shit in the cart.
No, I think this
You have
song's
to sort through it a little bit.
this song's bones are good.
This is gonna be such a long drive home with Brad. It's
Yeah.
gonna be weird and awkward.
Like, so you hate me?
Yeah, I don't respect you as an artist.
No, I think it's good. So we will, we'll revisit this in a few weeks. But for you, the listeners, you're going to hear it right after this. Set course.
To the future!
And we're back. So it's been how long since we recorded this episode? A couple weeks.
Looking at the
At least
calendar.
a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, a month.
And in that time, Brad, you've completely re-recorded this song, right?
I did. Yeah, I didn't have the files because of
Brad.
not being responsible with computers,
Uh-huh.
and so everything that we heard the first time was gone.
Right.
And so basically, I recreated it from listening to it. And
Cool.
Did
And-
a decent job, I think. Got close.
Cool. And once you did that, you gave it to me, the files, and I mixed the song. And you actually were here one night and we started the mix together.
Correct.
Which was pretty cool. So why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about that?
That was fun.
Great.
It's going to be the best episode yet.
Deep thoughts. No, it was a good experience. And actually, I mean, from that point to this point in that month, I've learned more than probably the last 10 years just as far as taking a song from start to finish.
Yeah.
Because of what we talked about previously where, you know, you get to a point and all of a sudden it's done and you call it a thing. So actually spending time with it after it's finished, as far as, you know, after the instruments are recorded and everything's been produced, I learned a lot, and hopefully this song tells a story from where the other one left off to, you know, it's not all just because it was recorded new. It has a lot to do with that.
A better production value and
Absolutely.
what we've learned
Yeah.
over the years. And yeah, that was fun to have you sit there when we started the mix and just to show you some tricks and things to get going, because I think that's something you're really going to enjoy. We were talking about that last night. Brad was over. We had a band practice, and afterwards we were kind of talking about the podcast and how I think Brad's really going to enjoy getting more into the production of his songs, because that allows him to have more control over the way they sound. Ultimately,
Yeah,
it takes a
absolutely.
little work off of my shoulders.
And this song was a good one to start with because it was done and we know what it sounded like because it's been around for a while.
Right.
You know, so it's not like you were going to go through and actually produce something
Yeah.
different and pull things out or do too much to it. You might have, I don't know, but we'll find out. And
Yeah,
I don't
that-
think there's a whole lot to do there.
No, actually, I think you did.
I probably did. Yeah.
We did a little thing on the drums when that was your choice, which
Yeah.
was cool to have you there in the room to make that decision. So, yeah, if I remember correctly, we didn't have a ton of revision notes for this song. We kind of said it's in good shape. You just need to basically re-record it because it was an MP3 and we kind of left it in your hands.
Yeah. And most of what I remember talking about was all production notes. So it's going to be interesting to see it
And
cleaned up.
I kept all of those in mind. So I did take them into the studio with me, and you're probably gonna hear those notes live.
Cool. Well, let's give it a listen.
excited.
So, new mix, new recording. We've got to keep this thing ticking.
I've rummaged through the dirt and found old shit mixed with golden shards. You're always going to get that, no matter which geographical part. And when you stare at the stars, there always seems to be a brightest one, but it's the same as the others. It's just right in front of your eyes. I won't let it hold me back. I won't let it distract me from anything. I won't lose momentum. We gotta keep this thing ticking. Heard a lot of words, they all make sense, but they have no heart. You never really notice until some come along as sharp as the dart. Just when you thought you were smart, just when you thought you were the brightest one, you're just the same as the others. You were just top of mind. Gotta keep this thing ticking. I won't let it hold me back. I won't let it distract me from anything. We've gotta keep this thing ticking. I won't lose momentum. I won't let it hold me back. I won't let it distract me from anything. I won't lose momentum. I won't lose momentum. We gotta keep this thing ticking.
What did you think of the re-record?
Love it. So, this is so much mature than the first recording.
You mean more mature?
More mature.
No, I said what I said.
That's what I said in a minute.
Yeah, I've got notes. Anyway, the layering on the tracks is so much more evident. The timing is spot on now, which I think I commented on in the first recording that I thought it sounded a little bit off. You drop the keyboard loop.
A little bit.
Yep. Sounds a lot better to my ear.
Yeah.
And the thing progresses beautifully.
I think you did a really good job, Wade, of making it drive.
Uh-huh.
You know, like the bass really drove that thing through, and I didn't intend for that, really.
Yeah.
But
And that's
it came
kinda
out.
like the theme of the song. It
Yeah,
needs to
exactly.
keep-
It came out really
keep doing
good. I probably gave it to you. The bass was a lot lower, and the drums were
was.
driving it. But I really like that part a lot.
Yeah, the bass hits a little harder
Yeah.
now, I think.
And I hadn't listened to this song, my re-recorded version of it since I gave it to you.
Right.
Just for that reason, because I wanted to hear it for the first time here, and I think it came out pretty good. I was surprised actually at myself a couple of times. It's like, that kind of matched, but it accelerated, and you helped that a lot too. So
This is my kind of song. I like this a lot.
I got, when it comes back in at the end, there's a big instrumental break there, and that feels like it might be a little empty.
Yeah.
What are your guys' thoughts on
Well,
it? Do you know what I'm talking
I had
about?
a note. Remember, we sat down and I had a note here that I was like, I don't even know what these notes mean. But it says, why no soloing over this gap or anything over that gap? And so I think I did try to do stuff there, but I didn't land happy with anything. So
it doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
I just know your style of production and songwriting. So I do notice that this time, I mean, I worked on this so much that that never crossed my mind while I was working on it because I'm thinking of lots of other things.
Yeah, and I don't hate giving songs some air every once in a while.
Yeah.
You know that. Like,
No,
it doesn't. You don't have to inject something just because there's space to.
Right, and the point I wanted to make is when you come back in with the vocals, that's when I get that chill factor.
That's the point, right?
That's the point where I really feel it and get the emotive.
And
response there.
that's the point of the blank space.
Yeah, so
so
that
like
may
you have
actually
to
benefit it.
kind of let it fall before it can get back up, and that was kind of intentional.
Yeah. I like the restraint a lot.
Cool.
So yeah, I think that one came out good actually.
Yeah,
I don't always say that about stuff that I do, but I was like, that one actually came out okay.
So, Brad, is it done?
I think it's way done. Yeah,
I think it's way
I mean,
Cool.
I thought it was done like 5 years ago. So
That's what's so cool is this is a song that you've had for a really long time, and it really wasn't quite there, or never quite got finished.
No,
and now
but-
you can say, bow on it.
yeah,
Let's put this out into the world.
yeah,
It's cool.
exactly. It's that's what I love about this whole thing is it's forcing us to create a little bit more. It's forcing us to recreate or resurrect, I should
Hashtag
say.
recreate.
Yeah, we do recreate as well.
We are wordsing.
We ate a pot pie upstairs,
Yeah,
and it
communal
was
pot
it was
pie.
killer.
Wait,
That
what did
is
you say it was? It was scrummage?
scrummage. But anyway, it forces us to resuscitate a lot of songs that were
May have died
just
of
been
horrible-
sitting in a hole somewhere in a file, and
Yeah.
like they're done. And every once in a while, you might listen to them because it's something you created, and you just go back. But this really got us to look at them objectively,
Yeah, and have other people look at 'em.
exactly,
Right,
and force ourselves to fix them or finish them.
And I think this is the first song we've done that's been pulled out and totally re-recorded, right?
Yeah.
So what did you learn about your songwriting from that process? Because you essentially had to learn your own song.
I did.
again.
I mean, this song's that's probably not a good question for this song, because the band for a few years we played this live. We would kind of just bust it out. Wade and I were in a band, and we played a lot of our songs together through that band, and so we explained that earlier in the podcast series. But it's 3 chords, the melodies are really simple. So playing it was really simple. Recording it in, a lot of times I have a hard time taking something that's old and recapturing the vibe. So like
So do Indiana Jones movies.
yeah. But the hardest part is capturing the vibe. And the one thing I loved about the song wasn't necessarily the performances, it was the vibe that was going on in it.
Sometimes that's more important.
Yeah,
than the way
and
it's
so
recorded.
losing that, and the reason I didn't re-record it earlier was because I didn't think I could recreate it, because I've tried to do that before, and that's why I'm happy with this, because it feels like it transcended the re-record, and
got it.
and the vibe was captured, and I lost a lot of shit on hard drives that are just MP3s floating around, and I've pulled them out and tried to do this with other songs, not successful at all. So it's real similar to trying to recreate something live, and you have to change it and recreate it. And I think this one, the
This song
vibe
was
carried
different
through.
live too.
It was completely
quite
different.
a bit different.
Yeah,
And I like
but-
this recorded version.
Yeah, so I was real happy with the way this one it kind of carried through and maintained its initial integrity.
Yeah, I love it.
Awesome. Yeah, I
Cool.
think
Nice job, Wade. That you
Cool.
you did a good job mixing that.
A nice job, Brad.
this whole project.
We talked about me in compliments. I don't take them well. Okay.
That's
Shut
another
it.
thing that this project, this Belonging Songs project, has done for me is I think my mixing and production chops are just getting better the more we do this.
It's hours. You spend if you spend 30 hours doing something, you're gonna get 30 hours better.
Yeah,
That's a
absolutely.
long time.
'Cause it's been a little daunting for me in the past. Recording music, mixing music is my favorite thing to do. And then I'd spend all this time and I've had all this training. And then I'll listen to one of my mixes that I do and like take it out into the truck or whatever. Let's do it. And it's like, wow, this is horrible. Why am I so bad at the one thing I want to be good at? I think this is really helping.
Welcome to most things I do in life.
Well, most people's lives, I think. But it's you judging you, which is never a good thing.
Yeah.
I've seen just in the short while we've been doing these, the increase in your production is big. It's huge.
We've talked about that a lot behind your back.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So, and not that we didn't even know the other shit wasn't that good until the new stuff until the new processes started coming out. So it's really helping songs.
Well, now that you guys have complimented me a bunch, let's get out of here. So
Okay.
let's end on a high note.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. To the bar.
More pot pie.
All right. That wraps up another episode of Belonging Songs. Thank you so much for listening. We are having a blast doing this project, and we can't wait to just keep bringing
This
you
thing
new
ticking.
episodes. Yeah, every week to week. Yeah. So please check us out on our social media accounts. Instagram is where we spend most of our time, but we also have a Facebook page. We're going to be putting these episodes up on YouTube. And of course, we have our own website, belongingsongs.com. You can reach out to us there. Send us an email at bs@belongingsongs.com. Again, thank you so much for listening. We'll see you again next week.
And by the way, no pressure, but Hall & Oates looks at our stuff, so maybe the listeners should too.
That's right.
Yeah, it's good. Boom, done. Next.